Hello, I'm Jonathan Dunsky, author of the Adam Lapid Mysteries, and today I'd like to tell you about my favorite book of 2023 so far, that is Dancing Aztecs by Donald E. Westlake. If you're a fan of crime fiction, you may already be familiar with Donald E. Westlake. He was a prolific and very successful author of crime fiction. He wrote both under his own name and under a number of pseudonyms. His most famous pseudonym was Richard Stark, under which he wrote the popular Parker series. Westlake wrote both serious crime fiction, like the Parker series, and funny crime fiction, like, for instance, his novel The Busybody that I reviewed previously on this channel, and the well-known Dortmunder series. Dancing Aztecs is also a funny crime novel that he wrote, and it is the funniest book that I've ever read, and one of the most brilliantly plotted and written books as well. So let me tell you a bit about it, what the story is, the setting, the characters, and what makes this book so terrific. So in Dancing Aztecs, there is a fictional South American country called Descalzo. It's a very poor and undeveloped country, but it has one national treasure, and that is a statue of a dancing Aztec priest. The statue is made of gold with emeralds for eyes, and it is kept in a museum. And one of the main exports of this country is basically copies of this statue that are sent all over the world and sold as decorations. And in the beginning of the book, there is a plot or a scheme by three men in that country to smuggle the genuine dancing Aztec priest statue along with a number of copies in one shipment to the United States, where there is a buyer waiting for it, or someone who is able to sell it to a museum for a lot of money, a little over $1 million. I think the book was published in the 1970s, so $1 million was worth quite a bit more than it is now. So the real statue is sent along with 15 copies, and it arrives in the United States, and it is supposed to be picked up by this group of people who run a sort of courier service or a shipping service inside the airport, and they also steal every once in a while from these shipments, and they're supposed to deliver the crate containing the real statue to the person who orchestrated the entire shipment. But there's a mix-up, and the wrong crate is delivered, and so the real statue, along with the 15 copies, is transferred to someone else. And the someone else is a group of activists who have just accomplished building or securing funds for the building of a sports center in an underprivileged neighborhood in New York. And as part of their celebration, each of them is given one of the dancing Aztec statues. And of course, they all believe that these are all copies, but one of them is the genuine article. So once this happens, once the people who've arranged the shipment realize that the statue is gone, a chase begins after the real statue. But the problem is that no one knows which of the 16 activists got the real statue, and of course the other 15 being copies that are basically worthless. So the chase after the real statue begins, and there are a lot of people involved in it. There is the guy who arranged for the shipment, his partner. There are the people who run the sort of courier service inside the airport, who realized that something that they had not been told all the facts about this crate that they were supposed to deliver and about this statue that was supposed to be in it. And they sort of realize that there is something more to the story that they were told, and they discover about the statue. So they are also in the race after it. There's this guy who is cheating with the wife of one of these people, who happens to hear about the missing statue, and he also becomes involved. And so there's this huge cast of characters all vying to get their hands on this statue so they'll be able to sell it for more than $1 million. And each of these characters is portrayed so distinctly and deeply that you feel like they are real people. And the entire circumstance of this race and the way that they go hunting after these activists, break into their house, interact with them, discover which of the, start to discover which of the statues are copies by breaking them, or somehow the statues end up being broken in all the mess that is happening. Everything is hilarious. And a good number of times while I was reading this book or listening to the audiobook, because I was doing both, I just broke out laughing because the story is so hilarious. So one of the things that make this novel so great is the humor, which is simply spectacular. The second thing, as I said, is the characterization. And the third thing is just the plot. The plot is just crazy. And it was like watching a juggler juggle 20 balls in the air, because there are more than 20 characters in this book, and each of them is portrayed so beautifully, and they are all mixed up in each other's life, because the more and more people discover about the statue, the more mess there is when everyone is trying to hunt for it, and they sort of run into each other, they battle each other. Everything is, of course, very lighthearted and funny, but just the way that Westlake was able to write a coherent plot with all these many characters, this huge number of characters, and to keep everything organized, logical, and it always seemed to be like on the verge of falling apart, but he was in fact in total control of what he was writing. It's simply a remarkable achievement. So the book is not just a joy to read as a reader, but also as a writer. It was something that I was deeply impressed with. I simply cannot find fault in Dancing Aztecs. As I said, it's the funniest book that I've ever read and my favorite book of the year so far. And if you're looking for something that will put a lot of smiles on your face, check out this book. It's simply fantastic. Okay, so that was for Dancing Aztecs. Let me tell you about the book that I'm reading now and will probably review on the channel later. And that is The Hot Rock by Donald E. Westlake as well. The Hot Rock is book one of the Dortmunder series, which numbers, I believe, 14 novels. John Dortmunder is this planner of capers, and he is a man of distinct bad luck. So in each of the books, I've read a few of them in the past, in each of the books, he plans a caper and this caper goes hilariously wrong. So far, The Hot Rock, which I've read years before and I'm now rereading, is not nearly as funny as Dancing Aztecs, but it is also a lot of fun to read. So I think that I'm going to continue with that series because I'm on a sort of Westlake binge right now. So you can find links in the description below to both Dancing Aztecs and The Hot Rock. As I said, Dancing Aztecs is terrific. The Hot Rock is also very good, but I'm still reading it. Until next time, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next review.